Rob Cordry. Craig Robinson. Clark Duke.
Do you guys
And
mind
Steve
if I...
Pink.
Boo!
Welcome, everybody. All right, we're going to start with questions over here.
Do you guys mind if I record this for an article I'm doing on you? Thank you.
All right, we'll start up in front.
Thank you. Well, your Daily Show joke turned out to be very prescient since we all saw this movie the week Jon Stewart announced he's leaving and it's coming out next week. Is Jessica Williams your guys' pick for the next host? And did you anticipate in doing that joke that this was coming sooner than later?
We're standing firmly behind our candidate for the Daily Show election this year. And that's for America and for the kids.
How much proof do you need that the hot tub is real? But yeah, Jessica Williams, hell yeah.
Yep.
All day, every day.
Hi. First of all, congratulations on the film. It was hilarious.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It was a laugh riot. My question is for Josh and for Steve. I do apologize in advance. Maybe I missed this because everybody was laughing so much. But the trench coat that was next to the hot tub, was that a way, it seemed like that wasn't explained, was that a way to maybe open the door for John Cusack to come back in a later, maybe another hot tub time machine?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel, well, first of all, the deep dramaturgy of this movie I think is best answered by Josh. But I will say that, like Hot Tub, I think that Hot Tub kind of exists like the Avengers in terms of its, in terms of the universe. So, like, I would say that John is like Thor or like Iron Man or
one of the
like
cosmic characters.
it's like the cosmos of characters in Hot Tub Time Machine exists, very much like the cosmos of Avengers. So
I wish I had that answer
Yeah, we
earlier.
did want to put that there as a way of saying he didn't just disappear from this universe.
And he's a suspect in the
yes.
movie for a while.
right,
Yeah.
and could be lost somewhere in time.
And might be the killer. He's not.
Craig,
Yes.
as a kid growing up in the 90s, how does it feel like working with Lisa Loeb? And what was Lisa's reaction that to this, that you making the song like that?
She was overjoyed. Last year was her 20-year anniversary of that song. So when Steve was like, you think we could get Lisa right now? And I called her. It's like, boom. And she was, excited about it. And then, but this guy here, he has a serious crush on Lisa. And Lisa was so cool to come work in the movie. And we went to get foot massages, and then he got jealous.
I get Lisa Loeb. You know what I mean? Like I get her.
Good morning. What were some of the short list of
Really?
Take it.
Really?
Come on. Call.
Wow.
Come on.
We knew that was going to happen.
Keep your phones on, by the way.
Foxcatcher.
Keep your phones on because I don't want anybody to miss a call.
What were some of the other short list of songs that you were willing to spoof or cover in this film besides Lisa Loeb and?
Oh boy, so many, right?
I wrote
the whole
that
Culture
song into the
Club
script.
canon.
That was the original song, and she said yes. So we never really went down that list, I guess.
Yes, because the world was our oyster on that. Yeah. Every single musical artist in the history of music was calling, actually, to be a part of it. And Lisa just called first.
It's annoying. It's super annoying to field all those artists' calls. God.
He was like, yeah.
You can tell they just
Born in
want
the
to
USA.
talk. Like they're going through some stuff or whatever.
You get away with sorry.
Well, no, it had to be some kind of iconic video too, so that was part of it, right? Some iconic video that we could actually shoot. So it kind of was
Directed by Ethan Hawke, that video.
Yes, that's right.
And
I
he
know
came
by
in
Lisa
and
Loeb,
directed
directed
that
by Ethan
scene.
Hawke.
The whole movie. He actually directed the whole movie.
He directed this picture. Actually,
The hardest part was finding the cat.
it was.
Yeah.
That's true. That's not a
That's not a
lie.
joke.
That's absolutely true. It was
Cats
hard
are
finding a
dicks.
big, fat, gray cat that matched that cat.
You get away with so much in the film. Was there a joke or concept that you couldn't get away with that you wish was in the film?
Yeah, all the 9/11 jokes were cut.
They fell off pretty early.
I don't know why. So that, I guess, was too far.
No, I mean the studio gave us a lot of creative freedom. I think, foolishly or not, they said you guys kind of all know what a Hot Tub Time Machine movie looks like and feels like at this point, and to their credit or detriment, they put their faith in us to kind of dictate what the humor and what the tone was.
Hey guys, Adam, I was wondering if you could talk about what it felt like to join this cast and be part of this franchise, and for the other actors. And Steve, why was Adam the right guy to play this role?
Before I answer that question, I just need to consult with my attorney. Sorry. I really enjoyed joining this film. Rob Corddry was especially generous on set, and I loved the first. Sorry.
No further questions.
Thank you. I loved the first one. I was actually at the premiere of the first one. Not to brag. Not to brag. I got invited.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This guy.
And actually had a conversation with Steve on the. I've known all these guys for a while, so. And actually had a conversation with Steve on the phone before before Josh had even written the script, and agreed to do it then, which is such a stupid
Terrible
thing to
movie.
do.
Terrible.
But then it was just a no-brainer. I mean, it just sounded like going to New Orleans for summer camp with some friends, and I'm really glad I did. It was really fun.
Yeah, we were thinking about who to bring into the movie, and this is true that I called Clark and we were talking about it, and he said he had just made a movie with Adam.
Yep.
And then what about Adam? And of course, much like Adam just said, I said to Clark, "Do you think we can trick Adam into being being in the movie?"
And I said, "Let me handle it."
It was Clark's idea. Truly.
It was, yeah. And so then I called Adam and proceeded to trick him into being in Hot Tub 2. And he exercised
Fell for
incredibly poor judgment
He fell
for a
for it.
long period of time. The thing about it is you could say there's a lot of points in time in which you could say no, and we just kept reeling him back in.
And
so-
now, hundreds of dollars later,
Yeah.
here he is starring in Hot Tub 2.
I walked away from the movie 100 air.
I was just wondering, because hopefully I read this right. If I didn't, this question never happened. But how did you guys get OK Go to write fucking nerd?
Oh, well.
Well, they didn't write it.
Yeah.
It was improv in the movie.
This question never happened.
No, it
No,
happened.
no.
You can't
they-
take that back.
But we share a birthday.
Do we?
We do.
Oh, man.
February.
well,
Guys,
then you
can
can say-
everybody else mind if we talk about our
Yeah, then-
birthday?
February 4th.
Yeah, because then you can say whatever you want.
To be
What is
fair,
it?
though, Rob
What
has
is it?
2 or 3 birthdays.
Yeah.
When's his birthday?
February 4th.
Is that true?
That's
Yes,
right.
Because mine's the 3rd, just FYI.
Happy birthday,
Thanks,
Steve.
man.
Do not care.
Happy birthday.
This is about me.
Harris.
What was the question?
About the
Okay,
song.
go. Oh yeah, well the
Oh, yeah.
guys improvised it, and then it just seemed to have a life of its own. And then we thought the song itself, and then we called "Okay Go" because we just we do
They're affordable.
we have no shame. Yeah. We have no shame. We will ask anyone at any time to make the mistake of being part of Hot Tub Time Machine, and they once again were tricked into doing it, and they apparently loved the first one.
Yeah, and Josh wrote the lyrics to the song that they ended up recording off of our chorus, I guess it is.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
know.
they
Melody.
Yeah,
And
it
they
was
were-
Rob and Craig's, improv in the movie that was this small little thing that, just every time we watched it became this, we were always laughing at it at the 100th and 200th time we watched the movie. And it became the idea of what if we built out this one little tiny moment into this giant thing. And yeah, I mean, as is unusually typical with this movie, like we ask and something sort of works out for us.
It's become a national sensation.
And they wrote it, at least in part, on the road, actually, and recorded some of it on the road and sent it to us in pieces.
They're drifters.
Yeah, they're drifters. You never know where they're going.
They're actually homeless. They're hobos.
The rails more than the roads. To be fair.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
High five for the movie. High five.
High five.
High five. High five.
So going back to, the song and just how much of the script was improvised? I noticed in one of the trailers there's that dig at Craig about like you look like a minor Medea like character, but I didn't see that in the cut in the movie. So how did you guys choose what stays and what goes? And also, is traveling back in time to see what happened in Cincinnati off the table in the next one?
Well, nothing's off the table when it comes to Cincinnati. Josh doesn't let the actors improvise.
Not at all.
No.
Josh lords over the text of Hot Tub Time Machine.
We're wearing earwigs too sometimes, so he just feeds us.
That's right. He's there.
Great.
Yeah, that's right.
lines.
And he's
Like
intolerant.
I think there was a comma there, Adam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't hear the pause. No, it's almost 100% improvised. There's no script for the movie. It's like, hey, why don't we have a room, do something.
Josh
in the
writes,
room.
honestly, Josh writes great bits that inspire.
Yeah.
Because it's all very conversational. The real movie is us just hanging out and either giving each other shit or just hanging out. And
Exposition.
Josh writes that really well. And it's also, it offers a great place for launching off into just other versions of that same joke, and that was a lot of it with like the mirror thing with the minor Tyler Perry character. That was about 4 hours in front of that mirror, just staring at each other, trying to insult your best friends.
And then Josh is on set all the time pitching new jokes, and so it's all really collaborative.
Annoying. Oh yeah, collaborative.
Super, yeah.
Josh would tell me when I was wrapped every day too.
I always try to rap Clark early. Not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they were really also great about.
My ride's here.
Yep. About improvising things that had some relationship to each other. Like they were really like one of the ones I like was when the Looper joke was like, oh, this is a time travel joke that is going to somehow explain the science and logic of this thing. But it really then becomes about how Rob shunned, or Rob's character Lou shunned his best friend by not going to see Looper with him because he was too busy. But the joke was on him because he loves Bruce Willis. So I think that's
true.
A lot of times, like they would be really good about being in character and create like pieces of their relationship that you kind of get.
That's
who
our
they are
only
to each other.
job, to be a character.
Yeah.
The only thing we get, hey, it's not digging holes, is what I'm saying.
We know something's going to bear a lot of fruit when it's really complicated and I'm explaining the science behind it or the time travel logic of it for the 19th time and no one understands it except for me in some halfway. And we know
we
that's
understand
going to
it. We just don't
don't
care.
care. But that's going to lead to that exact scene where, where Clark is trying to explain to them what's going on and they don't give a shit. And that's some version of me explaining to them at some point and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that...
So going back to the first Hot Tub Time Machine, I have to ask, what was the pitch meeting like to the studios to get them to greenlight Hot Tub Time Machine?
A lot of middle fingers, I think, probably, right?
You got a lot of anger, questioning one's career choice. Josh, you could answer that.
Yeah, the first Hot Tub Time Machine I pitched because I was not going to spec it because I didn't think anyone would buy it. And I walked in with a straight face and pitched what a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine looked like. And they scarily said, how fast can you have a script to us? Because let's go make this. And I said, okay, I will call that bluff. And I wrote the script very quickly, and the training wheels were off, and it was off and running. So it was a very unusual process of, like, from the moment the pitch was sold to when the movie came out. it was under a year and a half.
But this was
Like,
also
really
an
fast.
idea that you had with your college buddies, right?
No, it was an idea that I had with a producer of the first movie, Matt Moore. We were pitching something else that was dying, and we had this just inside joke about a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine. And we didn't know what it was, but we would call each other and joke about, like, hey, let's go pitch Hot Tub Time Machine. It's like, no, seriously, let's get lunch. And months would go by, and it was still funny to us. And we said, let's sit down and figure out what a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine actually might look like. And we're like, well, there's skiing, and there's probably a hot tub, and it's probably a time machine.
Done. Writes
Hooray
itself.
for Hollywood!
Yep.
I heard a rumor that this was originally going to be called Hot Tub Time Machine 3. Why did that not happen?
Well,
Yeah.
Why did
Fear.
that not happen at all?
Fear.
fear and probably the real possibility
Yeah.
that people might have felt like they missed the second one.
Yeah.
And
They go, "I
not
don't
gotten
get
the
it."
joke, and then not seen the third one because they're like, well, I already missed the second one, so I'm not now caught up. So
But you
I
have
won't see
my
the third one."
promise that the next movie's called Hot Tub 4.
Yep.
I'm just curious with the ball spiking scene. Was that originally just like, we're just gonna have this idea, we're just gonna spike Adam's balls, or was it like kind of a grosser than gross contest until you guys figured out the perfect, like,
Spiking?
yeah, when he sticks
I think
the,
you're thinking of the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're talking about when
of
they-
No, when they
Gronkowski.
spike his balls.
I'm just playing with words, guys. It's fun. Well,
I mean, where did that scene originate? That came pretty late in the we were almost in production, and we were looking for another set piece or something to do with the guys before we got to the wedding, and the story was off and running to the end. So we
What's
wanted one
another-
more.
What's another terrible thing that we can
Right.
exact upon poor Adam?
The studio was scared it was skewing too intellectual, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Usually in the original, they pierced his balls with farts, and they were like, too smart. No one will get it.
Yep.
Well, I love sequels, and I've earned the nickname Franchise Fred because I seriously believe there should always be sequels to everything indefinitely. And one of the ways to do a sequel.
Who calls you that?
Did you make
Like
up
real
your
real
own
talk,
nickname?
time out.
I
Time
did
out.
not.
Like your
Time
barista?
out.
Like, hey, Franchise Fred, coming in for a double latte.
Yeah, come on, who's calling you
You know
that?
Outlaw Vern, the critic who wrote the book.
Did you say Outlaw Vern?
I'll tell you the story.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Are you saying that Outlaw Vern calls you Franchise Fred?
Yes.
That makes sense.
All right.
That makes sense.
So I've run with it. One of the ways to do a sequel when you don't have one of the original cast is to have a sibling or a son. So how did you decide that was the right way to fill in this group?
Josh?
Adam?
I like the idea of going back to the original movie's mythology and what could we have missed, what seed could we have planted there that we could exploit, and it was the idea that when John Cusack's character in the first movie breaks up with his girlfriend, played by Lindsay Fonseca, they had sex in that movie, and what if he also impregnated her there, and there was this love child that he never knew about. And and that just kind of became like, okay, well, how old would that person be? And that kind of makes sense. They'd be exactly the same age as Clark in 2015 and 10 years older in 2025. And that gave us the framework of like a potential character. And then we had to figure out, how to make that character fit in and funny and what's the mystery.
Hi, my question now is for Adam and Gillian. What was it like to play such a sickeningly sweet couple? And did you know couples like this and kind of pull from that?
I only know dysfunctional, deeply unhappy couples, so it was pure imagining. But Adam's pretty lovable, so it's not difficult to conjure that kind of relationship.
Well,
It's
likewise,
Valentine's
Gillian.
Day.
We it was really fun. We didn't really talk about it or rehearse anything. We just started doing it, and they just became disgusting and so in love with each other. But it was also kind of written that way, and it was a great place to start because then the relationship becomes corrupted. So it was just kind of a naturally great place for the relationship to start.
Yes, I love the ending credits where you guys, become the Beatles, go to the moon. So what are some of the ideas, crazy ideas that, didn't make it to the ending credit that you're like, man,
9/11. I don't know. First one cut.
Hi, this is for Steve and Josh. Okay, so the first movie really, it was kind of obviously influenced by Back to the Future. What movies do you think this movie?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Yeah, a very obscure Back to the Future film. Maybe you guys haven't heard of it. Maybe I'm just really similar to
We're
your
not really
movie.
big fans of movies or TV or anything.
I'm sorry, what is the
Go
question?
ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
What movies do you think that you were influenced by for the sequel?
Every single movie that even remotely had either a time machine or hot tub element in it. Right? Anytime there's like a time travel element, seriously, anytime there's a time travel element of the movie in any genre, we are absolutely kind of influenced by it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole gamut. We start with obviously Back to the Future. We're kind of so far following their trend of going back in time, going forward in time, and then we like breaking it out into there's Terminator references and Looper references, and
obviously Looper is a big influence, given that they went to the future. Killer goes back to the past. Terminator, of course. Is there any time cop in this one?
No, I think we started talking about
Not
it.
yet.
Not yet.
There was Turner and Hooch briefly.
Yeah, there was a Turner. Yeah, that's right.
The
There was.
famous time travel
I'm
movie.
still mad about that.
That's right. There was. Are you mad about the Turner and Hooch?
There's a Turner and Hooch
I know,
joke
there
on
was
the
a really
floor,
great
yeah.
Turner and Hooch bit. Oh, it's a DVD thing now.
I don't.
The Turner and Hooch bits. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
I was fighting for that one until like 3 weeks
I
ago.
think maybe it's time to let that one die, right? I mean, the Turner and Hooch. I think it's had a great run.
It did. You're right. It has.
All right.
It really has.
All right.
It really has.
I'm just saying, just for me.
There was talk of Western.
Yeah.
Oh right. That's right.
To answer your question.
That's right.
Yeah, at one point we wanted to, really lean into Back to the Future and do a Western influence.
Yeah, we wanted to do. You know how we did a shot-for-shot video at the time, the first one. The idea of doing a shot-for-shot remake of the Back to the Future 3 trailer, which was, I think,
The end of
the end of 2 would have been fantastic.
Turns out super expensive.
Turns out. Freight trains, turns out
Yeah,
crazy
the whole
expensive.
thing.
Yeah,
Freight
about
train pushing
the
a
same
tub,
price
yeah.
as a
The wardrobe alone is more expensive than the movie.
Yeah.
Was.
Who is there left for Lou to violate within the circle of friends?
I think that's about it, right? I think I got everybody.
Yeah, have you ruined everyone's lives?
Yeah,
is
I
there
think
any
I pretty
life you
much got
haven't
everybody.
ruined?
Yeah.
Turn a new leaf.
It's like a Lou's like a scientifically perfect virus.
He is.
Just there's no stopping him. Yeah. He's like the common cold. Lou is the common cold.
Yeah, we'll now have to invent new characters. Were this to be another one
For
for
Lou
him
back.
to violate.
But we also think of him as kind of the unlikely moral center of this group, because Lou always does come to a place, by the end of both movies, where he is looking out for someone else's interests but himself.
He's always the one that has the furthest to go.
Right, exactly. So there's something sweet in that, despite all his vile venom and poison.
But that's just
there's-
something I bring to the role.
Right, that's just
Sweetness.
actor influenced, yeah.
How you doing? Troy Toole, EURweb.com. And this question is for Mr. Robinson. So how did you come up with the strut, and how much influence did you have on the musical aspects in the film?
The Weber strut was influenced by a young lady named V. Bosnan. She's a singer, striking, and she'll be at the premiere, actually. And one day I was at this club in L.A., and she was just going in on this like that. And then I just started doing it with her. And I think I was even like, because they were talking about the Weber strut, and they were like, whatever you want it to be. And I was like, so I was in that place of like needing that dance. And then it was like,
We've all been there.
oh yeah.
I've never not been there.
And then as far as the music, we went in there and wrote the song together for the Weber strut. Josh and Steve and Chris was doing the music, and then Steve left. Okay, Steve left. He had to go do something. Steve was always fucking leaving, but he had to go do something, and he was like, "But I'll be back. I'll be back." And sure enough, he came back. But we had cut a song that we liked, right? And then it was like we had time before Steve gets here, so let's cut a BS song, right? And then play it for Steve and watch his face. So we made the worst lyrics.
It was horrendous.
It was just, and it was like in a. I mean, I was just singing all off key, and we played it for Steve and video, and Steve was like, "This is really good." And it was like, "No, Steve, no." And then we ended up like fusing those two songs together.
Joke was on them.
Yeah. The joke song actually became the bridge of the
Everybody strut right now. Strut to the time of the clock.
Right.
It's midnight. That was like that's what ended up making it. It was like, what?
That was the joke song that I embraced fully from my embarrassment.
Hey guys, so pressure. So in the first movie has a lot of like inside jokes, like Great White Buffalo and like Lugal and stuff. How did you guys come up with these like friendisms, and what are the ones you hope will kind of get popular after this second one? And what was your experience like hearing the ones from the first one outside of the movie in the real life?
People shout Great White Buffalo all the time. I have to remind them you have to whisper it.
Yeah, man.
But I'm looking forward to like just high five.
High five.
High five. Yeah.
And that's just something that you did it.
Yeah.
Pretty late into the shoot, you just did it once, and we knew exactly what he was doing. It was great.
And that's my real response in the movie. Did you just fucking say hi?
Like you're too lazy for this.
That was a real moment.
Well, I think you guys were doing it offset also. It wasn't even like in the movie, and then it became like, why don't you do that? And it became a thing. Yeah.
High five. We had a couple of moments. I mean, sometimes you improvise. It's like, okay, throw out a line. But the magic, sometimes you could just keep going, and that stuff makes it. Those chunks of just going back and forth make it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, like you look like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Clark, when you say, no, we did it on the stairs, we did it in front of the mirror. Be tacky to do a third time.
Yeah,
like,
there was a worry. I was like, is this whole movie gonna be? You know,
that was again me just actually talking
saying that
out of character. No, we're not fucking doing it again.
We're not doing that bit again. I was like, that's great that they're aware that they're actually doing bits to each other that they should stop doing.
Cincinnati was improvised, by the way.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
So bam,
That's right.
there you go.
I think was Great White Buffalo improvised?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like
Yep. Great White
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
They were just that was just the reaction to that.
I hope there's T-shirts with "You choose it, you do's it" though. That becomes like
Yeah.
a big thing. I think that's kind of
You
a
choose it,
warning and a fun thing.
That's right. You choose it, you do's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.